Hi, beautiful people. So, they will call you mean when you decide to stand up for yourself. This is something I had to make peace with recently, especially because I realized, especially as a former people pleaser, people will call you mean the minute you start to say enough is enough. No is no. I'm tired. I have boundaries. Respect my boundaries. And you start moving accordingly. People will call you mean, That's something you have to make peace with, because especially if you are like me, where former people pleaser, and people pleasing overall is you just want to make sure everyone is good around you, even if it means you're not okay. It's at the expense of your own peace of mind, your own sanity, your own self-respect, your own self-worth, all these different things, your dignity. That is so valuable, and I've learned that as I've gotten older. It is so valuable. You need to respect it. You need to protect it. You need to be unapologetic about protecting those things. I had to make peace with this because it's such a quick cop-out, and I've seen this. I really do believe it's a tactic, not just used by narcissistic people, and I don't use that word lightly. It's a tactic, I think, overall, because, one, in a situation with narcissistic people, of course, the minute you start cutting off their energy supply, aka your energy, they're going to demand that why would you do that? They're going to make you feel bad about it. It's like, how dare you? The conversation will be, you've changed, oh, she's changed, I've had people in my life, and this is no one in particular, I'm not hinting at anybody. I've had people in my life who have, when I've changed and I've been clear with boundaries, and I've been unapologetic in standing up for myself and finally using my voice and not backing down and protecting myself. I've had people literally say, she's changed. Oh, she thinks because she's this now. Oh, she did this even years ago before I had any real accomplishments. It's, oh, well, she thinks she's too good for us. It's like, no, I don't. You just want me to be an idiot who's going to keep giving and giving and giving when you clearly don't respect my time, my energy, my worth. You don't see me, you don't value me. You see me, but you're using it. You're using me, you're using my energy, And so, of course, when you stand up and say, hey, this is not reciprocal, this is not fair, I'm not benefiting in this anyway, but you are, and you're taking and taking and taking, and I'm tired. Of course, there will be people who are like, how dare you? And that's what you need to be mindful of, because there are people who will try to gaslight you back into submission. And that's where the mean girl allegations come. Oh, that's where the B word allegations come. Oh, that's where the, stush, or she thinks she's better than anybody else. It's sad. It's so sad, because I think for me as well, I had to be mindful of how I started to view the world when I experienced a lot of betrayals, backstabbings, people just using me or literally lying on me, all these different things for their own benefit. I had to be mindful, because I was so scarred, guys, and I don't say these things lightly. I know I have new people who pop into my channel, and you guys probably don't have context about me or my story or things like that. So when I say certain things, just know there is context behind it. There are years and years and years of trauma, over a decade of trauma from people misusing power and doing all these different things, lying, betraying it, even stealing. I had two people steal from me, come into my home, pretend to be a friend. I had this person steal from me. So when I tell you the levels of betrayal, I'm not complaining. You know why I don't complain? Because God has put me through a certain path to forge me in a way that has created who I am today, who is prepared for anything, because I've been through so much. I'm not complaining. I'm not a victim in that sense. I don't use that word lightly. When I do use it, it's for a reason, So I had to make peace with that. And also I had to be mindful. That's what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. I had to be mindful of the way I started to view the world, because I was so jaded. Like anyone who hasn't, this is studied in psychology, in trauma studies, you can Google all these stuff, but you genuinely, when you have so much pain from people outside of you for years and years and years, and some people wouldn't understand that experience, but it creates a lot of deep rooted trauma, trust issues, insecurity, self-doubt, detachment issues, all these different things, depending on your story and your situation. And so naturally, it made me very guarded, because I'm like, I am terrified to let anybody in, whether it's a partner because of certain experiences with people just, being whatever. And then friends, whether it's the backstabbing, betrayals, lying, gossiping, all those things to get in your head, befriend girls so that you could get in their, space and then lie and destroy. All those things I've experienced many times. Or even situations with people around you that should not even act. They have no right to act that way, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but it made me so jaded, and I had to look at myself in the mirror and heal. I had to heal, and I had to, learn to trust again. And that was through beautiful people that did enter my life. And I believe God brought them into my life to remind me that not everyone is like that, that there are good people in the world, that the world is a loving place too, and I had to make peace with that, because I anytime someone wanted to be my friend, or someone wanted to date me, or somebody wanted to work with me or something like that, I went into full fear mode, because I'm like, I don't want to be used and abused again. I'm not gonna cry. But the sad truth is there are so many beautiful, kind-hearted people who have been taken advantage of time and time and time again in this world, who have been mistreated, and who end up being either cold or cut off or to themselves or whatever. And I'm just grateful that God has given me the compassion for myself and for others around me to still keep me in my heart space. That's something I'm so grateful for. So when people try to make me feel bad for protecting that heart space after so many years of trauma and lies and betrayals by people around me, used by the enemy, because I do believe the enemy uses weak vessels to get to people to make sure that they don't end up on their divine path. If you know, that is true. But this is why when I'm in this place now where I finally, the child version of me, the teenager version of me, and even the 21-year-old, 22-year-old version of me, even more than that, all those versions of me are looking at this 26-year-old version of me who is finally standing up for herself, who is using her voice and her platform unapologetically, not selfishly just to empower myself. I'm also trying to empower people who have been through situations like me, who have dealt with situations like these, and it's not just for me, So I am sorry, but not sorry, that you are triggered, that I am finally speaking with power. People will see the building when it's a skyrise, when the tower is cascading over all the town, and you see this tower and you think, wow, what a powerful, strong tower. I want to knock that down. How dare you, Cascade? And how dare you stand boldly and strongly in who you are? But they don't see the foundation that was built year after year after year after year. Tower built up a little bit, got knocked down by people's insecurities, built it back up slowly, a bit shorter because of the fear now, it's knocked down by people's betrayals, built it up again. They don't see that. So when my tower is finally risen up by the power of God, I am not going to back down and allow people to swat it and set fire to it and try to break it down. You do not have that right. You don't have that right. You don't have that power. And so people will be triggered when you finally have that self-respect and have that confidence and have that independence and fire within you. People who don't like it, especially those who either don't have it or are still fighting to find it within themselves, which God bless you. I hope you do find it. Or the flip side, where people who have previously hurt you, lied, betrayed, all these different things in life, friendships, all these different things. Of course, now it's how dare you have that power, because I used to be able to control you. I used to be able to abuse you. I used to be able to do this. But now, because you have the power of God and the anointing of God and the fire of God within you, burning strongly, fiercely, unapologetically, how dare you? You know what? I dare. I dare to do that. And this video is for anyone who, like myself, many years kept quiet, kept being a pushover, kept being a doormat. This is the video to tell you that you have every right to take your power back, to be unapologetic about who you are, where you stand in this world, what you have to say, your stories, your truth. Speak up. I love you. I am rooting for you. I love you. Okay, bye guys. That's enough for me today.